is a certain power in knowing that the world bends to your will. You have never heard the word no, not once in your 25 years of existence. When you want something, you get it. If something stands in your way, you eliminate it. That's how you were raised, the only child of the most feared mafia boss in the underworld. Your father, a legend, has carved an empire out of power, and you are his greatest creation, his hire, his ruthless little princess who never needs saving. But you are different too. Unlike the cold-blooded who lurk in the shadows, you carry your darkness with a smile. You laugh while pulling the trigger. You joke before making a deal. You live in a world of chaos but rule it with ease. There is nothing, nobody who can deny you until him. Jungkook never wants to be in the spotlight. He likes watching from behind the lens, observing, capturing moments that others fail to notice. He is 22, fresh out of college, trying to make a name for himself in the brutal world of photography. While others fight for fame and clout, he remains in the background, sharp, cold, and calculating. He is smart, witty, a little distant. People intrigue him, but he never lets them get close. And maybe that's why his photography carries certain loneliness, a rawness that makes people stop and stare, feeling something they can't quite name. You see his work before you see him, and you fall first. It starts like any other night. You scroll through Instagram, bored out of your mind, sipping on a glass of red wine as one of your men updates you on the latest business reports. Then you see it. A photo, monochrome, stunning, alive. A shot of an old bookstore tucked in a narrow street, dust particles floating in the air like fireflies. The soft glow of a single lamp. The silhouette of an old man flipping through yellowed pages, lost in a world only he can see. You stare at it longer than you should, and then you click. The account belongs to Jungkook. Not famous, not widely known. His follower count is nothing compared to the photographers who have made it big. But his work is magic. You scroll and scroll. A woman dancing barefoot in the rain, a stray cat stretching under the afternoon sun, a couple laughing in a subway station, the world blurring around them. Each shot tells a story. Each shot feels like something you want to keep. You follow him. You stalk his page every day after that. It becomes a habit, a routine. Wake up, summon if necessary, check Jungkook's latest post. And then one day he posts you. Your breath catches in your throat as you stare at your screen. It's you, sitting at your usual cafe, dressed in black from head to toe. A high ponytail, a long black coat, big boots, a mask covering your face, a baseball cap pulled low. Your bodyguards stand in front of you taking orders, their stance sharp, protective. But it's not just you. The background makes the photo breathtaking. The rain has frozen in mid-air, droplets suspended in time. A child stands nearby staring up at the sky in wonder. A couple whispers to each other in hushed laughter. The lights of the city reflect on the wet pavement, turning the scene into something almost unreal. It's beautiful. He makes you beautiful. Your heartbeat quickens. Your fingers tighten around your phone. For the first time in years, you want something you can't instantly have. Jungkook. And that is unacceptable. Time skip. You can't stop thinking about him. The moment you see that photo, something shifts inside you. It's not just fascination anymore. It's not just intrigue. It's need. A gnawing, persistent need that refuses to be ignored. Jungkook doesn't know you, but you know him. For weeks you have kept up with his posts, memorized the rhythm of his uploads, the themes he gravitates towards. You know he prefers evening shoots. You know he has a soft spot for street photography, capturing strangers in fleeting moments of intimacy, laughter, solitude, longing. You know he rarely posts pictures of himself, and when he does, it's just silhouettes, shadows, or an out-of-focus reflection in a shop window. He hides. But you don't like things hidden from you, so you decide to meet him, but not the normal way. Normal is for the ordinary people, and you're not ordinary. You lean back in your leather chair, swirling the wine in your glass as your most trusted man, Kai, stands in front of you waiting for your command. I want him. Your voice is calm, unwavering. Kai tilts his head, expression unreadable. You want him? How exactly? A slow smile spreads across your lips. You know how. There's a flicker of hesitation in his eyes. Boss, he's just a photographer, a normal civilian. If you bring him in forcefully, I don't remember asking for your opinion. Your voice is light, but the weight behind it is unmistakable. Kai immediately straightens. Understood. When do you want him? Your fingers tap against the glass. Today. Time skip. Jungkook doesn't see it coming. He's leaving a quiet street after a shoot. Camera bag slung over his shoulder, a pair of headphones tucked into his ears. The music drowns out the world, his mind still lost in the frames he captured. Then, a hand clamps over his mouth, a swift pull into a black car. His instincts kick in, but there's no time to react, no time to fight. It's over in seconds. The next thing he knows, he's sitting in a luxurious, dimly lit room, wrists untied but body stiff with tension. His camera bag is placed neatly beside him, untouched. He looks up, and there you are. Legs crossed, an amused smile playing at your lips, dressed in all black like the woman in his photo, like the woman he unknowingly captured. Jungkook doesn't speak right away. He studies you, gaze sharp and unreadable, taking in the lavish room, the expensive wine in your hand, the dangerous-looking men standing near the walls. Then he exhales, leaning back in his seat. You could have just DM'd me. You laugh, a genuine delighted sound. I could have. His jaw tightens. So, what is this? Some kind of sick joke? You tilt your head. You took a picture of me. His brows furrow. What? The cafe, the rain. You watch his expression carefully. Did you know it was me? Jungkook scoffs. You're joking, right? I take street shots all the time. I don't stalk my subjects. Your smile widens. Shame, because I stalked you. His body stiffens, but he masks it with a smirk. Figures. Mafia queen gets bored, decides to kidnap an innocent photographer for fun. You hum. Fun is an understatement. Jungkook exhales sharply, running a hand through his hair. Look, I don't know what kind of game is this, but I have nothing to do with your world. Just let me go. You lean forward slightly, eyes locked onto his. Say please. He glares. No. The word hits differently than expected because nobody has ever told you no. For the first time in your life, someone denies you, and it's exhilarating. You let out a soft chuckle sitting back. You're interesting, Jungkook. His name rolling off your tongue makes him tense. Yeah, well, I don't find you interesting. Liar. He clenches his jaw. You grin. This is going to be fun. Jungkook isn't afraid, or at least he's very good at pretending not to be. He doesn't shift uncomfortably in his chair, doesn't show any panic despite being kidnapped by you, the most dangerous woman he could have possibly crossed paths with. Instead, he sits there, jaw clenched, eyes dark with irritation, arms folded across his chest like he's the one waiting for you to leave. You lean back in your chair, watching him with an amused smirk. He's different, you can already tell. You've kidnapped men before, politicians, rivals, informants. They usually start shaking the moment you realize where they are. Some beg, some try to negotiate, some cry. But John Jungkook, he glares at you like you're wasting his time. You like that. You really don't know who I am? You ask, watching for a flicker of recognition in his face. Jungkook exhales. I know, everyone knows. You raise an eyebrow, and yet you don't seem intimidated. I'm pissed off actually, he mutters. I had plans tonight. You laugh, tilting your head. Oh, something important? Yes, sleep. You grin. He's witty, sharp, unaffected. He doesn't cover like the rest. That only makes you want to mess with him more. Alright, you say, standing up from your chair and walking towards him. His eyes follow you wary but composed. I'll make you a deal. Jungkook scoffs. What kind of deal? You stop right in front of him, lowering your voice just slightly. I'll let you go. He raises an eyebrow. That's it? You nod, then smile. But first, before he can react, you lean down, your fingers grazing the material of his shirt as you slip a hand into his pocket. Jungkook tenses instantly. The moment is slow, deliberate. You hear the way his breath hitches for just a fraction of a second before he forces himself to stay still. Ah, so he's not completely immune. You retrieve his phone from his pocket and lean back, holding it up between two fingers. His jaw tightens. Seriously? You smirk. Seriously. You swipe the screen, but of course it's locked. You glance at him. Passcode. He lets out a dry laugh. Not happening. Your eyes gleam. You sure about that? Jungkook leans forward slightly, matching your intensity. What are you gonna do, princess? Torture me for it? There it is again. That damn no. You exhale through your nose, half amused, half intrigued. He really isn't scared of you. You tilt your head. Fine, I'll just take a guess. You try 000, incorrect. You try 1234, incorrect. You try 111, Incorrect. Jungkook watches deadpan. Wow, genius. You grin. Have to try. He sighs, pinching the bridge of his nose. Look, I don't know what you want from me, but whatever it is, I'm not interested. You hum, tapping your fingers against his phone. We'll see about that. Then you turn to Kai. Take him home. Jungkook blinks, visibly thrown off. What? You're free to go, you say casually, tossing his phone back to him. For now. Jungkook catches it, eyeing you warily. Why? You smirk. Because I like playing with my toys before I break them. The muscles in his jaw tighten. I am not your damn toy. You take a slow step forward, lowering your voice just enough to send a shiver down his spine. Not yet. Time skip. Jungkook tries to move on after being kidnapped by the most powerful mafia queen. Most people would probably pack their bags, change their identities and flee the country. But Jungkook, he goes right back to taking photos. He should be shaken, he should be scared, but all he feels is irritation. He doesn't like being played with. He doesn't like how easily you threw him off, how the encounter lingers in his mind longer than it should. And more than anything, he doesn't like that you got his number. The first time you text, he ignores it. The second time, he blocks the number. The third time, his phone rings, and for some reason, he answers. You blocked me. Your voice is smooth, amused, dripping with entertainment. Jungkook exhaled sharply. Yeah, that was kind of the point. You hum as if unfazed. Didn't take you for a runner, Jungkook. I'm not running, he mutters. I just don't have time for whatever game this is. Oh, but I think you do. Your voice lowers slightly, playful yet sharp. Are you alone right now? Jungkook leans against his desk, fingers tightening around his phone. Why? Because you murmur. You sound nervous. He scoffs, rolling his eyes. You're delusional. Am I? There's a shift in your tone, subtle but noticeable. Jungkook swears he can hear the smile in your voice, the dangerous charm that makes people fall at your feet. And then, tell me Jungkook, your voice is a little softer now, teasing yet controlled. What do you see when you close your eyes? Jungkook's breath catches for a fraction of a second. It's barely noticeable, barely, but you hear it and you laugh. A low, sultry sound that sends something unwanted through his veins. Relax, you say smoothly. I'm just curious. Jungkook grits his teeth. What the hell do you want from me? You hum as if thinking. Right now, I want to hear you say my name. His grip on the phone tightens. Not happening. You click your tongue. Shame. I was going to ask if you wanted to see me tonight. Jungkook shuts his eyes briefly. I don't. You let out a dramatic sigh. Such a liar. I'm hanging up. No, you're not. Jungkook opens his mouth to argue, to tell you off, to do anything to get the control of the conversation, and then he hears it, your breath. Soft, slow, close. For a second, just a second, it almost feels like you're right beside him. Like if he turns his head, he would see you leaning in, lips curved in amusement, waiting to see how long he'll resist. Jungkook swallows, and you know you're won. You don't say anything else. You just let the silence stretch, suffocating and heavy, before exhaling one last time. Then you hang up first. Jungkook stares at his phone, jaw clenched, pulse a little too fast for his liking. He hates you. He really, really hates you. But for some reason, he doesn't block your number again. Jungkook tells himself he won't think about you, but he does. Your voice lingers in his head like a song he can't turn off. The way you played with him over the phone, smooth teasing, completely in control, unsettles him more than he wants to admit. He should hate you. You kidnapped him, toyed with him, and now you're treating him like some personal amusement. But the worst part, somewhere deep down he's intrigued, and that pisses him off. Time skip. It's 2 days before he hears from you again. Not through a call, not through a text, but in person. Jungkook is in his small studio apartment editing photos when a knock echoes to his door. He frowns. He isn't expecting anyone. The moment he opens it, his stomach drops because you're standing there, dressed in sleek black, hands tucked casually in your coat pockets, lips curled in that same smug, infuriatingly confident smile. Jungkook's grip tightens on the door handle. What the hell? Hi, you say smoothly, stepping forward before he can react. Nice place. What? No, what the fuck are you doing here? He tries to block your way, but you brush right past him like you own the place. He watches in sheer disbelief as you scan the room, taking in the tiny space, his small couch, his desk cluttered with camera gear, the half-empty coffee cup by his laptop. You hum, tilting your head. Kind of cute. Jungkook gapes. Are you serious right now? You turn to face him, unfazed by his frustration. Completely. He drags a hand down his face. You can't just show up at people's houses. You smirk. I can. Jungkook exhales sharply, trying to keep his temper in check. Why are you here? You take a slow step toward him because you didn't call me back. His eye twitches. That's not a reason. You hold up a finger. It is for me. Jungkook stares. You're insane, he mutters. You grin a little. Jungkook wants you gone. He really does. But there's something about the way you're looking at him, something challenging, something dangerous that makes his pulse spike in a way he refuses to acknowledge. He crosses his arms. So what now? You gonna kidnap me again? You pretend to think. Tempting. Jungkook clenches his jaw. I swear to God. Oh, relax. You roll your eyes. I just wanted to see you. Jungkook freezes for half a second. You catch it. Of course you do. Slowly you step even closer, eyes locked on his. Tell me, Jungkook, your voice is smooth, easing. Why haven't you blocked me again? Jungkook's breath hitches. You smirk. His jaw clenches, a muzzle ticking. Get out. You chuckle, stepping back. Fine. You walk toward the door, but before leaving, you glance over your shoulder. I'll see you soon. Jungkook exhales slowly as the door clicks shut. And this time he doesn't even bother lying to himself because he knows he's in trouble. Jungkook tells himself he won't fall into your trap, but every time he sees you, he feels the pull. And the worst part, you know it. You don't push, you don't force, you just exist in his space, giving him nowhere to run. Your patience is dangerous. The way you linger at the edge of his world, waiting like you already know he'll come to you eventually. It pisses him off because he can feel it, the inevitable. Time skip. It's raining when you meet him again. Jungkook is out on a late photo shoot, fingers numb from the cold when he feels the presence before he even sees you. You need a new hobby, he mutters without looking up. You smirk, stepping into the light. Says the guy who stalks strangers with a camera. Jungkook huffs. That's called a profession. Call it what you want. You muse, stepping closer. Still doesn't change the fact that you like looking at me. Jungkook goes rigid. You're too sharp, too damn confident, and he knows you're playing with him. But instead of stepping back, he steps forward, close enough that you can see the storm in his eyes. Your smirk doesn't waver. Careful, Jungkook, he exhales sharply. Why? Because you're coming dangerously close to proving me right. And just like that, he does it. Jungkook lifts a hand, brushing his fingers against your jaw. He tilts your face up, gaze locked on yours. Eyes unreadable yet burning. Your breath hitches. His doesn't, because he's in control now, and you for once aren't. The moment stretches, thick with tension. Your heart races, and then just as you close your eyes, just as you tilt up, Jungkook pulls away. Your eyes snap open, and there he is, smirking, amused, untouched. Not so fun when it's reversed, huh? His voice is low, almost teasing. Your fingers twitch. How dare? Then he steps back, leaving you exactly where he wants you wanting. And for the first time, you're the one watching him walk away. Time skip. You should be mad. You should be furious. Jungkook played you, flipped the game, turned the tables, gave you a taste of your own medicine. And you let him. You let him get that close. You let yourself fall for the moment. But instead of being angry, you feel something far more dangerous. Excitement. Because Jungkook isn't like the others. He doesn't bow, doesn't kneel, doesn't crumble under your power. And now you're determined to make him break. Time skip. It takes a week before you see him again. Not because he comes to you, but because you go to him. You find him exactly where you expect him to be. His small, dimly lit studio, lost in his own world as he edits photos. He doesn't even flinch when you walk in unannounced. He just exhales. You need to stop doing that. You smirk, closing the door behind you. Make me. Jungkook leans back in his chair, arms crossed. What do you want? You step closer, slow, deliberate. He scoffs, not happening. You tilt your head. You sure? Jungkook doesn't answer because he's not sure. And that's the moment you know you have already won. The air crackles as you move toward him, slow and steady, until you're standing between his knees. His jaw tightens, his fingers twitch, but he doesn't move away. You lean down, lips so close to his ear that you feel the way his breath falters. You started something, Jungkook, you murmur. Now, finish it. His grip tightens on the chair. I told you, you didn't tell me no. Jungkook freezes. You smile. You could have, but you did not. His breath is heavy now. His body is rigid, tense, holding back. And then he grabs you. Fingers curl around your wrist, firm, desperate, frustrated. His eyes meet yours, dark, stormy, filled with something he refuses to name. And just when you think he's about to kiss you, he lets go again. You blink, caught off guard. Jungkook leans back, lips curling slightly, smug. Not yet, he murmurs. Your fingers twitch. You're playing a dangerous game. He exhales, running a hand through his hair. Yeah, then he looks at you. But so are you. Jungkook has been holding back, and you're done waiting. Because it's been weeks of this push and pull, of teasing glances and unspoken challenges, of him walking away just when you think he'll give in. And tonight, you won't let him. He stands up and walks past you, watching you stare at him with amusement and intrigue. You have to leave. He speaks as his back facing you as he goes through something in his racks. By the time he turns around, you're already standing there just inches away. You reach him, he stiffens. You press a hand against his chest, feeling the steady, firm rhythm beneath your palm. His heartbeat, strong, steady. Until your fingers trail lower. Jungkook grabs your wrist. Don't. His voice is low, strained. You lift your eyes to his. Why not? His fingers tighten around yours, just slightly. His breathing is heavier now, controlled, but barely. You know why. You lean in just enough to let your lips brush the corner of his jaw. Say it. His jaw clenches. I can't. You can, you murmur, pressing closer. Your lips just a breath away from his skin. You just won't. Jungkook shudders. You feel it, the way he's unraveling. The way his grip on your wrist tightens instead of pushing you away. The way his body leans towards yours as if drawn by some invisible force he doesn't want to name. He's breaking, finally. So you push one last time. You press against him completely, lips barely ghosting over his. Not quite a kiss, but not nothing either. And then he lets go, not just of your wrist, of everything. His hands slam against the table behind you, caging you in. His forehead rests against yours, breath ragged, body trembling with restraint. But he still doesn't kiss you. Instead, he exhales a shaky laugh. You really don't like losing, do you? You blink, caught off guard. What? Jungkook lifts his head, meeting your eyes, and despite everything, the heat, the tension, the way his body is so close to yours, it's unbearable. He's in control. You wanted me to break, he murmurs, voice low, amused. But you're the one who looks desperate right now. Your stomach flips, Jungkook smirks, and then he steps back again, leaving you standing there flushed, breathless, and losing at your own game. And for the first time in your life, you don't know how to win. Time skip. Jungkook is losing. He can feel it. The inevitable, the unraveling, the moment he's been holding back from. Because no matter how much he fights it, you're always there. In his space, in his mind, in the way his fingers hover over his phone at night, itching to call you. And the worst part, he wants to. But then, reality crashes in. Jungkook learns something that stops him in his tracks. Again. Another target, another mission, another casualty in your world of and power, and suddenly he remembers who you are, what you are, that no matter how much he wants you, he can't have you, not like this. So he does the only thing he can, he calls you. And when you pick up, voice smooth as ever, he doesn't play this time. We need to talk, he says. You pause, that sounds serious, it is. You meet him that night somewhere private, somewhere quiet, because for the first time this isn't a game anymore. Jungkook looks at you, expression unreadable, and then, finally, this needs to stop. Your brows lift. What does? This. He gestures between you, us. You tilt your head, a slow smile playing on your lips. Jungkook, I can't do this, he cuts in, voice firm. Not like this, not while you are, he exhales sharply. Not while you are still people. Your smile fades. He meets your eyes, gaze steady, unwavering. If you want me, you have to stop. The air is heavy, charged, and for the first time since you met him, you don't know what to say because no one has ever said no to you, no one has ever asked you to choose, but Jungkook just did. And now it's your turn to decide. Power was always yours, decisions were always yours, and now for the first time you hesitate. He watches you waiting. You can see it in his eyes. He doesn't expect you to say yes. Maybe a part of him is already preparing to walk away, and the thought, it does something to you because you have spent your life getting what you want. And what you want now more than anything is him. Your breath is slow, measured. You hold his gaze and then you do something you never thought you would. You say yes. Jungkook doesn't move, doesn't speak. For a moment, it's as if the world stops. Then his breath shatters, and so does he. One second he's standing there unreadable. The next he's pulling you in, crashing into you, kissing you so hard it steals your breath. His hands are on you, desperate, trembling, lost in the moment he never thought would happen. And you let him. You melt, you drown, you lose yourself in the taste of him, the feel of him, the realization that this is real, that you chose him, that he's yours. And when he finally pulls away, breath heavy, voice shaking, I think I just fell for you all over again. You smile. Good. Because you did too. And this time you're not letting him go.